What's up, guys? Welcome back to the What to Do channel. Today is just a service tip. This is more or less likely for new turf mechanics or people that are mechanics with establishments that have fleets of machines and you're constantly maintaining them. I am going to give you the very one secret that is going to cut down on your workload 100%. Here it comes. Wait for it. Boom. That's right. Grease. When these machines go out on a daily basis, they are put under heavy stress, okay? And there's lots and lots of moving parts, and there's probably 1,000 grease fittings on these machines. But, not gonna lie, when I first started out as a mechanic, after I would be done doing a job, I would look at the machine and say, okay, I probably should grease this, but man, there's 1,000 fittings, and it's gonna take me 15-20 minutes to go grease all this, and then I would say, I'm sure it's fine, we'll get it another time, and we would send the machine out. Well, here's the problem, and it's going to bring you more, it's going to cause you more work down the road. Now, if you're just starting out as a turf mechanic, you need to know that these rollers and changing the bearings, it's not fun, okay? It's not super easy. It's a pain in the butt. All right, and when you have a machine coming in and these rollers are bouncing all over the place, you're going to scream and yell and throw wrenches, especially on a hot summer day where you're constantly fixing the bearings in these things. All right, these reels, if you've ever had to take one of these reels out before, it's not an easy job. A lot of this stuff has to come apart. Now, majority of the reasons why these things go bad is because they're not greased. These things all day long, every day, are spinning. Okay, and they are building up friction. It's already hot outside, and you got metal on metal. All right, same thing with this blade. All right, it's cutting grass. It's spinning at very high RPMs all day long, every day, and you got metal on metal inside. All right, so if you picture this, if you were to take a pencil or even just your finger and sit there for a lengthy period of time, probably more or less a pencil, because you could probably spin it all the way around in your hand. That's going to build up heat, and after a while it's going to start to burn your hand. Now take the pencil, put it in some grease, and do that, and you'd probably be able to do it for days, right? So same thing with these parts. It's worth it to take the extra 15-20 minutes out and hit all of these grease fittings, because what that's going to do, I'm telling you, you will go through the entire year without even having to mess with any of this stuff. But if you don't take the time out and grease everything on these machines, you're going to spend your entire season replacing bearings, replacing reels, reel bearings, and shafts, all kinds of moving mechanisms on these machines. And you're creating so much work for you. Not only that, you're going to be costing your establishment a ton of money by having to constantly replace all these parts. Every time that I get a machine in the shop, now what I do is, if it doesn't have a grease fitting, I will use WD-40 on it. I'll squirt WD-40 all over it. My nuts, bolts, everything, because nuts and bolts, even though they're not moving around, they're accumulating dirt, they're accumulating fertilizer, gas that may drip on them, whatever. And when you're trying to take something apart and a bolt strips out or breaks off inside the machine, it just causes more work for you later on down the road. So I would make grease and WD-40 your best friend. Mechanisms, throttle cables, everything. Squirt some WD-40 down there. Anything that has linkage or a spring, just squirt WD-40 on it. That stuff is inexpensive, and I'm sure your establishment will have no problem buying as much grease as you need and WD-40 you need than having to replace bearings and rollers and reels and shafts and all kinds of other stuff. So ever since I started using grease now and taking the time out, I've noticed I've had almost no rollers or bearings or anything to replace. So that's just a good tip if you are starting out as a turf mechanic and you're doing what I did when I first started and looking at that machine and going, man, it's going to take me forever to hit all these grease fittings. Well, you're setting yourself up for a very, very bad, busy season. All right? That's my tip of the day. Hit subscribe below. Give me a like. I do these videos daily. I'm trying to get my subscribers up, and I will see you next time.